Like peanut butter and jelly, muscle cars and mullets, and sunshine and swimming pools, diesel power and pickup trucks are meant for each other. If you talk to any truck guy, they'll go on and on about how every truck, big or small, should have a diesel engine. So why is it then that Ram is the only manufacturer that will sell you a half-ton diesel? What do they know that the others don't? Well, let's go for a ride and try to figure it out. First, let's talk about the looks. This Laramie trim truck comes with some nice chrome accents on the mirrors and that big chrome grille, and of course it gets EcoDiesel badging to let you know that it's an oil-burning motor. Now that crosshair grille up front just gives it really great presence. And you know, I've said it before and I'll say it again, the Ram 1500 is the best looking half-ton on the road. It has a great mix of chiseled toughness and suave style. Now Ram has great optional towing mirrors, but there's a problem. These aren't them. Now anyone spending $50,000 on a diesel-powered pickup with a trailer brake controller is going to want those tow mirrors, so I don't understand why you can order this truck without them. They should be standard. And the good looks continue on the interior of this truck. This Laramie trim comes with nice accent stitching and wood finish, which gives it a premium look. And not only is it pleasing to the eye, but this is a very functional interior as well. There's plenty of storage down here in the center, and there's a few spots up on the dash where you can throw any little bits or bobs you might have been working with that day. And when it comes to technology, this Ram is also second to none, using Chrysler's seamless Uconnect infotainment system. The best thing about this system is there's just no lag. It's lightning fast, and that's something that can't be said about a lot of other manufacturers' infotainment systems. The info screen up here in the gauge cluster is also easy to use, and it's simple to read. Everything is projected on a completely black background, which makes sure that it doesn't get convoluted, so you can just take a quick glance and get the information that you want. One other thing I really like about this Ram is there is an actual physical DEF gauge. Now Ram says a tank of DEF should last 10,000 miles, so you're not changing it too often, but still there's a nice peace of mind that comes along with having a gauge there, so you can always know exactly when you're going to run out of DEF. So that's enough about all the glossy tech features in this truck. Let's get to what you came here for, this 3-liter diesel. Now, over a V6 truck, Ram will charge you $4,500 to get the diesel, and over the Hemi, you're going to pay about $2,800 more. Now, again, over the Pentastar, you're going to get an extra 3 miles per gallon, but you're also going to get an extra 100 pound-feet of torque. While over the Hemi, you're going to get an extra 6 miles per gallon, and you're going to get an extra 10 pound-feet of torque. So any way you slice it, the EcoDiesel is always just a little bit better than the other two motors. So we'll start off with the one negative thing about the engine, and I'm not even sure you should call it a negative. It's really just the dynamics of a diesel. This engine just doesn't really get up to speed like a gas engine does. There feels like there's a lot more back pressure on it. It doesn't rev up nearly as quickly. It just feels a little bit more contained than you'd feel with the Pentastar or with the Hemi. But that's just what a diesel is. That's what diesel engines do. So that's to be expected. But you need to watch out for that if you choose this EcoDiesel. So on to the good stuff. The throttle response is great. The brakes are really great. They're nice and touchy, but it's not so much that it gets jerky in here. You can just modulate them just right. And same goes for the steering. It's nicely weighted. You're really connected to the wheels. Just the dynamics in here are so good. Ram really is building a great truck right now. And one area where you can tell they spent a lot of time, especially with this diesel, is in the noise. Now, when you're outside the truck, you boot it up. Obviously, it's a diesel. You can hear it. It's not too loud, but it's clearly a diesel truck. When you're in here, though, you can barely tell. And that's one thing that's going to attract a lot of buyers, because a lot of guys, they don't want their truck to be obtrusively loud. They don't want it to be droning on. And Ram did a great job with their sound insulation. Besides the torque, the other obvious advantage in this engine is the fuel economy. And the EPA pegs it at 23 miles per gallon average, and that's exactly what we've been getting. And that is honestly more city driving than highway driving. When you do hit the highway, it's not that hard to get this motor to return 26, 27 miles per gallon. And that's really where you're going to make your money back if you go for the diesel. Where this engine really shines, however, is once you get weight on the back. We just hooked up a 6,000-pound trailer, and this engine barely even notices. The torque is just incredible. When you're taking off from a dead stop, it just loves to get going. And unlike a gas truck, which will rev way up and it'll really work the engine, this diesel doesn't even feel like it's breathing that hard to get that 6 grand up and moving. But you can't give all the credit to that 3-liter. Some of it has to go to this 8-speed transmission, which is dialed in just right. When you take off, upshifts in this transmission are just seamless. They happen very quick, and you almost don't even notice them. Occasionally, especially when you're running up hills, I found that the transmission can hunt for gears a little bit. Best of all, you can downshift the transmission using these steering wheel mounted controls, and it just pulls the weight back. It doesn't necessarily slam down hard and really pull the truck. And the second piece of the puzzle that makes this a great tow vehicle is the 4-corner air suspension, but specifically the fact that it is load leveling. The airbags actually act like an equalizer hitch, spreading the weight of that trailer up to your front wheels. That means that the truck is going to sit nice and flat, so you still have plenty of weight over the drive wheels, but you still have the appropriate amount of weight on your steering wheels. Plus, you can drop this truck low if you want to go into an underground parking garage, or you can lift it up if you're going off-road. Really, that's just a win-win in my books. Sure, the 2 other engines you can get with your Ram 1500 are pretty good and they cost less money. But listen, if you spend more than half your time with a trailer or a lot of time on the highway or any combination of the two, this EcoDiesel will pay itself off in no time, and it will give you those great diesel driving dynamics. Hopefully other manufacturers sit up and take notice and put diesel in their half-tons, because this Ram 1500 is the official triumphant return of the half-ton diesel.